I'm back with another news update from New World devs. So this was posted last night, literally right as I was going to bed. So I had to wait till today to make it. I was like, I'm not even staying up for this. So there is a post in the developer corner of the forums which talks about upcoming changes to weapon abilities and swapping weapons and attack inputs and on top of it, the biggest news of all, a balance update coming in the near future. So here, let me pop this up and we will read through this and I'll show you guys what I mean. So this is Dave NW, Dave New World, I guess, a New World developer. Hello, combat fans. Along with bug fixing / tuning and the planned changes for war / territory control. By the way, guys, there's changes to war and territory control coming, like taxes and lots of stuff, if you aren't familiar with that. The team is starting on some next steps for combat in New World. Our initial focus will be in weapon swapping, dodge cancels, and attack input windows. We are currently working on weapon swap responsiveness and making sure that it is more consistent throughout all of our attacks, as we want swapping weapons to be an integral and fluid part of combat. There are many times that you think you've swapped weapons, but you end up attacking with the currently equipped weapon instead. Yeah. Anyone else feel that? I feel that. That happens way too much. I'm getting better about it as time goes on, but it's still a nuisance. We are working to fix these situations and expand when you are able to swap your weapon. Along with weapon swap, we are looking into dodge cancel windows and attack input timings during recoveries of all of our attacks. There are some inconsistencies that are not intended. For example, you are able to dodge cancel out of some recoveries, but not others. And you are able to perform heavy attacks out of recoveries of some abilities, but not all abilities. Our goal is to make sure there are consistent input windows between all weapons and abilities. Weapon swaps, dodges, and attack inputs are a major part of our combat system, and we want to make sure that they feel fluid and responsive. We'll be rolling these changes out over the next few releases, so please continue to provide feedback and we will continue to make improvements. In addition to the changes to combat responsiveness, we're planning on a balance update in a future patch to adjust a variety of abilities and tune some of the lesser used abilities to make a wider selection of abilities more viable to further improve combat in I never learned how to say the name of the world. We don't want to spoil too much from this update yet, but know it's in the works and on its way. So, big takeaways from this. All of this is cool and all, but the biggest drop here is right here at the end, that in addition to that, we're planning on a balance update in a future patch to adjust abilities, variety abilities. So, for that, I am looking at you, Divine Embrace. Now, I'm sure every one of you guys has your class. I play Paladin right now, so it's like, I know the abilities that are stupid and garbage, like Splash of Light, anyone? Splash of Light, if you're a healer, you know, I'm sure for you guys, you know, if you're a mage, you're like, I'm not familiar with them, but you might be like, you know, this ability is garbage. Yeah, they need to fix that. It's so bad. I want to ever use it. So that's going to be really interesting to see some of these abilities tuned. Hopefully they'll tune them all. So, because I personally would love to use Divine Embrace. It sounds fun to use, but it's just the numbers are not there most of the time. It just does not make sense over Light's Embrace, as an example. Now, what's going to get really crazy is that how much stuff is going to change once all this rolls through in November, because if you've watched my other news updates, you might be familiar with the fact that perks are going to hopefully be fixed. So if you look back at this one, which I posted about like a week ago or something, perks and gems, this was on a different dev blog. There are currently many issues with how perks and gems are functioning. For example, the resilient perk is granting damage absorption, blah, blah, blah. They fixed that one, though. The team is looking into the situation as it's non-intended behavior. When we have a fix for it, we will be adding into one of our weekly updates. And here's the big ticker here. Our goal is to have all issues with perks solved by our November monthly release. So, ideally, we will have all of our weird perks on all these abilities and different pieces of gear. Like a lot of these, I mean, I haven't tested all of them, but a lot of these random ones just don't actually work. Like, not all of them, but there are a lot of random ones that don't actually do what they say they do. They don't work at all. They do something different than what they say. So it's hard to know what you are actually building. So when you combine that with the balance change that's coming to all the actual abilities, it's going to change the landscape a lot for PvP and even for PvE to some degree. So that's something we're really going to be looking forward to. I'm interested to see how that shifts the meta. If it does shift the meta, which right now the meta is kind of leaning towards mages a little bit, and if it shifts that meta, I'll be sure to update you guys. So make sure you subscribe for that. Also, let's go back to that post, though. There's a little bit more to dive into. So they're going to be working on weapon swaps, dodges, and attack inputs, and all that type of stuff. So that is going to change a lot of different classes. Now, I'm not familiar with every single situation. There are just too many classes for me to go through in this game, because I don't have enough time as a content creator making other content to go through and get all my weapon skills to 20 and test every single ability. That's not something that I have time for personally. But I know there are going to be situations where certain weapon combos and certain ability combos are not as viable because of the bugginess of swapping or a dodge cancel making something better than something else. And people who are really versed in PvP are going to be familiar with that, and it will change the meta for them and how they play their characters. So that is going to also have an effect on what is the most viable and what is the least viable in PvP. And I'm very excited to see how they balance the abilities, how they roll out these kind of changes and stuff, because it's really going to have a major impact on the overall landscape of PvP in this game. Another thing is that with all these fixes, it'll take a lot of the weird exploits out of the game. So apparently double fire staff machine gun thing is still viable somehow. The people have found a way to work around it is what I've been told. And they still can use the macros to do those super fire, like, auto attack things. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've been told. So there's just a lot of bugginess that needs to get hammered out of the game. And as more and more of that gets hammered out of the game, and more of these weapon skills get balanced, we're going to see major changes. And it's going to be really interesting. And I'm very excited to see how it all goes. On top of that, they've confirmed certain known issues that will also have effects on PvP and PvE, like the Arcana bug. So right now, if you go to Arcana and you try to craft an Orichalcum staff or whatever, one of these right here, Fire Staff, Life Staff, Ice Gauntlet, whatever, there's no conceivable way to get 600 gear score from crafting these, because quintessences don't count as super material, and there's no alternative right now that will count as a super material. So it's a little bit harder for people to get super Ice Gauntlet, super Fire Staff, super Life Staff. So that'll have an impact. And there's lots of little things like that here and there that will have an impact on this. If they ever decide to change Void Met Light from Strength to Focus or Int or something, that could also have an effect. All those are minor compared to the major overarching themes of this update, though, are just that these weapon masteries will have the biggest impact. Maybe we'll see Divine Embrace. Maybe we'll see whatever abilities that you guys know of that are completely worthless that I am not familiar with in each of these trees. And it'll be really interesting to see if we can change how we play the game. And it'll kind of breathe new life in the game for me, because I think it'd be really fun to go around using a different ability. It's just like for a little while I'd be having fun, more fun, because I wouldn't be using the exact same 3 abilities for all of time. I'd be able to actually do something different for once. So that'd be really exciting. I'm really excited to see that. Well, that's about it for this update. I don't really have much else to say about it. We're going to be seeing these updates hopefully in November, at the latest December. As for that balance patch, the way they worded that made it sound like it might come at the same time as all this other stuff, but it might come after. I don't know. The way they worded it almost made it sound like it's kind of just going to happen at the same time as the other stuff, which would mean November. We're going to see the balance update, which the balance update is what I'm most excited about from that change, from that list of changes. So hopefully you guys are excited too. Make sure you subscribe for more news updates, guides, goal guides, money guides, just other helpful information about New World in this YouTube. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited about the future of New World. This dev team is pretty awesome. They actually listen to us. They make changes at the right times. They're doing the right things as fast as they can. And I'm excited for the future of New World.